Hi, welcome to Sacred Space Online. I'm Melody White. This is part of our mini sequences, and this is part of our crossover series where we're featuring Eagle, and we're crossing the midline. This series is going to start similar to the series right prior to this one. It's going to start with Thread the Needle, but it's going to move out onto the belly. So I want to share this. This often takes place, if you've done any of our other sequences or our classes online, we use multiple mandalas and infinity patterns. So we're rotating in circles and figure eights all throughout the practice often. This happens a lot after I see several bridges or wheels where we've really expanded the body this way, and we've pulled these lines, these natural crossovers from hip to shoulder. We've pulled them open, and then so the body wants to cross it back to center. Yeah, so this one happens most often where we've done something on our back and we do a twist and it rolls us over and we're facing this way and the thing happens. It's cool because, and I'm not going to teach it that way, but lots of our classes have that in there, and it's kind of cool. So it doesn't always have to be facing this way when it happens. So that's just something to think about when you're putting your classes together, especially if you learn to use the infinity pattern. Okay, so here's tabletop. This starts the same. So I'm going to start with Thread the Needle. This is my first crossover of this series. I could have done twists standing if multiple things could have come before. So Thread the Needle. As you can see, I'm crossing the midline. 4 or 5 breaths, okay, and round. And then instead of going back to down dog like we did in the last series, we're going to roll forward onto the belly and come down to set up. So the same thing's going to happen as it did in Thread the Needle. My right hand's going to extend enough to bring my left elbow in the center of my chest. Then my right elbow goes in the front of my left. And then I walk the hands out equally, and I'm not very good at dragonfly. This is a tough pose for me. But some people can tuck their toes, shift the head forward, and some people can get their head down on the ground and breathe. And so now I'm in a crossover pattern. This same left arm that was reaching through for that right side Thread the Needle is the same one here. And I might breathe 8 to 10 breaths or 5 or 6. But when I come out, I'm going to do the same thing as Thread the Needle. Right hand's here. But instead of pulling out from like the Thread the Needle, I'm going to lay my left shoulder all the way down like Thread the Needle. And then I'm going to bend my right knee like tree. I'm going to lay my left ear on the ground, and I'm going to roll back to bring my right shoulder onto the ground. Now, I'm not going to be able to lay all the way back. I've got that little space thing on my back. My walkie-talkie thing. But so I can just be in a twist, and it's normal for this knee to lift. Some people might be down, but you're more about trying to let the shoulder go down. And so you're working on that cross line from this left hip to right shoulder. Now you can bend your left knee and take hold of your right foot and drop the right shoulder down. Some people, if you've had enough twist, can hold this and extend. I cannot, but you could extend here. It's really cool looking when they do. And they have to have a lot of hip opening to do that. Or I can be here, just holding the knee. So some people can hold the blade of the foot. It'd be like big toe posture on the floor with a bind. Or some people hold behind the knee, and this is another crossover. And this is a single bind I have, but if I bound both sections and could extend, that would be a double bind. You release the binds, roll back over, and I usually pause, left ear, and then breathe a few breaths. I can't lay all the way down because of my mic. And then eventually, right leg by the left. And then forehead down. And I'm starting to neutralize. So my lead-in was Thread the Needle, so I cannot just go to the other side. I am working on a particular pattern. And then I push this back. I can push back to child, come up to tabletop. I can round if I like for cat, tuck the toes, lift the hips down dog. Inhale, lift the toes. Exhale, lower the heels. Walk the hands back towards the feet, forward fold. Heart pulls forward and fold. and then bend the knees and inhale, slowly rise, fingertips reach, and big sigh, hands to heart. So now I've done the crossover work on the floor, and I'm going to mimic that in eagle. So I'm going to, the thing about this is going to be different than in the series that you watched before is I can do one of two things. I can do left elbow under right that matched the left arm, because normally this eagle will have right leg on top and right elbow on bottom this way. But if I want to follow suit of what was on the floor, I'm still going to be standing on the left leg so I can open the body to the right, but I may want to cross that left under right, just like that was in the eagle. Because remember, our eagle was this way. Our dragonfly arms was this way, and it had to be so I could roll over, okay? Because if I did it the other way, it would make me roll to this way. So in this particular eagle, my left elbow's under my right, and my right knee is on top. Okay, a little bit different than the other. But I do the same thing as far as lift up and then gently open up to my half moon, and all things are still opening to the right. Close it off, level the hips, fold, halfway lift, fold. Now remember, you can finish it right here and come up, take a mountain, or you can do like you did in the last thing. You can continue. Come down, Hindi squat, you can go to a twist, you can go to a bind, you can release, you can use a spacer. So that is a removable piece. And rise up, hands to heart, mountain pose, shoulder shrugs, whatever it is that you want there. 3 to 5 breaths. Then release, halfway lift, fold, walk the hands forward, and then push it back to child or just to sitting on the heels. Move through that Vajrasana. So that means if you use, like in the other video, the one right before this, we use Vajrasana and Tadasana. Those are both major neutralizers in the Samdhana yoga practice. So this is Vajrasana. Come down through center. We come back up to that lion tabletop. And we're closing off the right side energy. And then we start the other side. It goes thread the needle. When we breathe, 5 to 6 breaths, come forward, and remember we roll onto the belly. So this is the thing you have to remember, is that dragonfly is right. If you go to the left, it's the right side, right elbow that has to be in front first, okay? And then you walk it out, you take your dragonfly, and then when you're done with that, you lift up. That left hand's just like thread the needle, right shoulder down, left knee bends, and you roll over. Take that bind. Double bind if you can. You hold those, and then you rest in restorative prone. And then back to center. And these little places, every single movement has a reason. There's a why to everything you're doing. And then you would release this. Push back to child, come up to tabletop, tuck the toes. Make your way back, halfway lift, fold, and then you rise up, and that's where you do your eagle again. Remember, it's going to be standing on the right leg, left knee on top, but it'll be right elbow on bottom if you want to follow what was on the floor. And then you would do the opening out, closing off, making your way through that other side. So anyway, this is a great, these are such fun things to do, these different crossover patterns, and they're so supportive of the energy of the body. We appreciate your presence, and I look forward to seeing you again in our next series.